It's 2 a.m. and you're not thinking about anything important. Not work, not money, not tomorrow. You're replaying a conversation from 8 months ago, word for word, like it's still happening. You know it's over. You've told yourself that 100 times. You've deleted the photos, blocked the number, thrown out the sweatshirt, and none of it worked. Because somewhere underneath the part of you that knows it's over, there's a part that still hasn't gotten the message, and that part is louder than you'd like to admit. You start wondering if something's wrong with you. Why can't you just move on like everyone says you should? Why does your brain keep dragging you back to someone who isn't even in the room?
Here's the uncomfortable answer. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do. The problem is it evolved for a world that doesn't exist anymore, and it's applying survival era rules to a heartbreak in the modern one. Today, when a relationship ends, you lose company, routine, maybe a shared apartment or a group of friends. It hurts, but you're still safe. You still eat, still sleep somewhere warm, still wake up tomorrow. But for most of human history, losing your person wasn't just emotional. It was a direct threat to whether you survived the week. And your brain still runs on that old code, even when the stakes have completely changed.
To understand why letting go feels almost physically impossible, you have to look at 3 things happening inside your skull right now, whether you want them to or not. The first is chemical. When you're bonded to someone, your brain builds a reward loop around them using dopamine, the same chemical involved in nicotine, sugar, and drug addiction. Their name lighting up your phone, their voice, their attention, all of it triggers a hit, and your brain starts expecting that hit on a schedule. When they leave, the schedule doesn't stop. Your brain still expects a reward, and when it doesn't come, you get withdrawal. Actual measurable withdrawal. Researchers at Rutgers used brain scans on recently rejected people and found activity in the exact same regions that light up during cocaine cravings. Not similar regions, the same ones.
That's why heartbreak doesn't feel like sadness alone. It feels like craving, like your body is asking for something specific and won't stop asking no matter how many times you say no. The second thing working against you is attachment itself, and this one goes back further than romance. Human infants are born almost completely helpless. No claws, no speed, no fur thick enough to survive the night alone. A human baby left by itself for even a few hours in the wrong environment does not make it. So evolution built something powerful to prevent that, a bonding system driven by oxytocin, the same chemical that floods a mother's brain during childbirth and breastfeeding. That system doesn't just apply to adult attachment, it gets hijacked by adult attachment too, which is why losing a partner can trigger something close to the same panic as a small child losing sight of a parent in a crowd.
Your nervous system isn't built to distinguish between the person I love left the room and the person keeping me alive is gone. To an older, deeper part of your brain, those two things register almost the same way. The third thing is the hardest one to fight because it isn't really about the person anymore. It's about the loop in your head. Every time you replay the memory, rehearse the argument, or imagine what you'd say if they texted back, you're not accidentally torturing yourself. Your brain is running a search. It's trying to solve something that has no solution. Why did this happen? What could have stopped it? Is there still a way back? This is called rumination, and neurologically, it behaves like an alarm that never gets the all-clear signal, because closure, real closure, rarely arrives in one clean moment. So the brain keeps circling, waiting for an ending that isn't coming.
Here's where it gets stranger. Studies using functional MRI on people who had recently gone through a breakup found that looking at a photo of their ex activated the same brain regions involved in physical pain.
Not emotional pain metaphorically, actual overlapping circuitry with a broken bone or a burn. That's not a coincidence. Social pain and physical pain likely evolved to share the same alarm system on purpose, because for most of human history, social rejection could be just as lethal as an injury. Getting cast out of the group meant no protection, no shared food, no one to keep watch while you slept. Your brain treats losing an important person as a 5-alarm survival event, because for almost all of human existence, it was one. So if you've ever felt embarrassed about how long it's taking you to get over someone, here's the reframe. You're not weak, you're not broken. You're running ancient hardware built for a world where losing your person could kill you, and no update has ever been issued. The good news is that this system, as brutal as it feels, isn't permanent. The same neuroplasticity that let your brain build the attachment in the first place is what eventually rewires it. Dopamine cravings fade as new reward patterns form. Rumination loops weaken the less they're fed. The pain doesn't vanish on a fixed schedule, but it does lose its grip, piece by piece, whether it feels that way at 2 a.m. or not.
Your brain isn't trying to ruin your life by holding on. It's trying to protect you, using rules written for a species that hasn't caught up to modern heartbreak. Understanding that won't make the ache disappear tonight, but it might make it a little easier to stop asking what's wrong with you and start asking what your brain is actually trying to do.